Hello there buddy, we just called Redstone here, and today I'm back with another Minecraft video. And today's video I'll be showing us how you guys can build yourself this all-in-one farm. And this farm will help anybody who's starting off a world after beating the Ender Dragon or just going to the Nether and wants to start off with a industrial district where they have a bunch of farms. This will give you all the basic farms that you need. So the main part actually fits into one chunk and the rest should fit in a 22 by 22 area. So yeah, it's not a big farm at all. And now I'll list off what it can produce for you guys. So in the center over here we have the heart of the farm, the zero-tick kelp farm, and this will obviously produce kelp, and then it will produce bone meal if you guys want some. It will produce XP with this XP farm over here, and then you can use some of that bone meal to produce both sugarcane and bamboo, and some of that bone meal will be sent over here to our tree farm, so it will help produce wood for you guys. And you guys can decide to keep the bamboo there, or you can shoot it up into our furnace array over here, which is totally expandable and automatically fuel all these furnaces, and this will smelt your stuff way faster than a single furnace could ever, and it will be infinitely fueled as long as you send bamboo to our farm. And this mob farm will give you guys all the normal creatures such as spiders, zombies, creepers, and skeleton. And since we built this over an ocean, you can also get some. And guys, that's actually all the farms that this all-in-one farm has, and I think all those farms should be very useful in early game. So yeah, without wasting any more time, let's get into the build. So the first thing that you guys are going to want to do is locate yourself a chunk, and a chunk is a 16 by 16 area like this one. And you guys can go to chunkbase.com to find a chunk near you, but make sure that you build this section inside one single chunk. If not, you'll have some issues with our zero taking machine. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is come 10 blocks from the front of our farm. So if you want this one to be the front, you're gonna come 10 blocks and then make a T shape, knock out the center, place in a redstone repeater facing to this block over here, and on the other side place in a lever, turn it on, and then place in a redstone torch over here and a piece of redstone dust right here. So now you guys are going to want to make this shape over here, and this is 14 blocks long, and this side as well, and you're going to want to skip a block in between. So now on top of our blocks that we placed down here, you're going to want to place your sticky pistons except for the last one like this, and then run a redstone line behind our sticky pistons, and each one of our pistons should be extended. And then now you guys are going to want to grab your sand blocks, place one block of sand on the face of each piston, and then two more on top of the extended hand like this, making sure to leave the block under our extended piston hand empty. If not, this will not work. And then now you guys can just place solid blocks all the way around like this. So now what you guys are going to want to do is place a row of blocks diagonal to our sand blocks, and then a row of normal piston, and then another row of solid blocks, and then a row of redstone dust on top of it. So now what you guys are going to want to do is come to either side of our machine and then make a 3 by 4 out of glass blocks like this, and then you're going to want to place in a row of glass blocks connecting them at the top, place another row of trap doors, and then a row of upside down stairs like this. So it should go stairs, trapdoor, glass block. So now what you guys are going to want to do is place glass panes all the way across our hole that we had like this, and then place in a sign right here and on the top row of our glass panes, and then on this side as well. Now you're going to waterlog each stair. So now you guys can go in our machine via the trapdoor and then place in your kelp. And now you guys are going to want to replace one of our trapdoors with a solid block, and then place 4 repeaters in a circle connecting them with redstone dust, and then you're going to want to set 2 of them to 3 ticks like this. So now for the final step for this machine, what you're going to want to do is place in a lever right here and give it a quick flick, and that should make a fast redstone clock, and all of our pistons should be extending. And you guys can give it a test by turning on the machine down here, and as you guys can see, you should see a whole bunch of kelp falling out. And now what you guys are going to want to do is skip 4 sand blocks and then place in composters all the way with hoppers running into them. And then for the rest of the 4 hoppers, what you're going to want to do is make sure that the center 2 are facing outwards like this, and the outer 2 are going into our center 2 hoppers. Now you guys are going to want to place 2 smokers with a 1 block gap between our machine, and then you're going to want to place in 2 hoppers directly going into our smokers. And if you guys see it from the side, these hoppers should be feeding into this hopper right here. And then afterwards, you're going to want to place in 2 hoppers going into each side of our smoker with 2 more of them under our smoker, making sure that the nodes face outwards like so. And then now you guys are going to want to place chests on top of each hopper like that, and then place in a solid block next to each hopper, and then place in a lever on each one. And now just place in 2 crafting tables up here. It's not necessary, but I recommend you guys put them here. I'll show you guys why later in the video. And then now you guys are going to want to place in 2 blocks of grass right here with a gap of 2 blocks in between them. And the positioning of these blocks is, first you skip 4 composters right here, and then place in 2 temporary blocks under them, go out by 1, and then place in your block like this. And then for the other one, you skip 2 and then place it. Now you guys are going to want to make a little well right here by placing in 3 blocks right there, and then 1 under it, and then placing a bucket of water. And then afterwards you can place in a sugarcane right here, and then a bamboo right here. And then now what you guys are going to want to do is place in 2 dispensers like this facing each of our crop. And then you guys are going to want to place in 2 hoppers right here, which are basically going into our dispenser like that, and then 2 more going into the hoppers, which are then going into the dispenser. And then on either side you're going to want to place in 2 hoppers like this. So if you guys see from down here, so you should see 4 hoppers in the center feeding bone meal into our dispensers, and then 2 more on either side feeding into each one like this. And then now what you guys are going to want to do is place in a piston right here and right here. So basically you can place in a solid block next to each crop, and then place in a piston and then another solid block, and then you're going to want to place in 2 observers going into each other like this. And then you're going to want to skip a block, place in a sticky piston. So this is a sticky piston, guys, and then place in a lever on the other side of our piston. And as you guys can see, if we turn it on, both of our pistons should extend like this. So now you guys are going to want to place in a hopper next to our grass block going into a chest like this on either side. And then you guys are going to want to place in 2 glass panes on top of each hopper. And then you're going to want to place in 2 observers facing each other on top of this dispenser over here. And then you're going to want to skip a block and then place in another sticky piston with a lever on it. And this will basically power and switch off our dispensers. And then now you guys can go ahead and encase the entire thing with glass blocks like this. And you guys can place however you want, but just make sure to cover up all the sides so that our sugarcane and our bone meal will be pushed by the piston and go into our hoppers. And then guys, be cautious to not fill in this block over here and the block right there, as each piston will need to extend it to turn on our farm. And that's actually the sugarcane and the bamboo part of the farm done. And now I'll be making the auto smelter part. So to do that, the first thing that you're going to want to do is place in a sticky piston right here with a 1 block diagonal to our chest in front of our sugarcane, and then place in a hopper with a little nozzle facing towards our dispenser with a 1 block gap under our chest like this. And this is the dispenser, as I've said before, and you should end up with something that looks a little like this. And then now what you guys are going to want to do is build this little thing over here. And the bottom, you're going to want to make it out of ice, and this part is 7 blocks long. And then you're going to want to go towards our machines by 1 block like this. And you're also going to want to add a wall going all the way across with glass blocks or any block of your choice. And to power our dispenser, you're going to want to again place 2 observers facing into each other like this. And then now in front of our dispenser, you're going to want to place in a sign right here, and then a bucket of water, and then another sign right here. And then now what you guys are going to want to do is place in another block of ice right here, and then a block of soul sand. And this pillar, you're going to want to make it 4 blocks high, and these other ones 5 blocks high. And the back one, so basically the one on top of our ice, you're going to want to make it 5 blocks high, and then go out by 1 like this, and then build a wall around it by placing a temporary block right here and then going all the way around. So you should have a little caddy right here with a wall around it. And then now what you guys are going to want to do is fill our bubble column up with water buckets. Make sure that they are full source block up until here. And then you guys are going to want to place in a hopper facing downwards right here with another hopper going into it, and then on top of that a fence. And then you can place in another bucket of water right here, and that should basically push all the items that come up here into our hoppers. And you guys can test it out by throwing some items into our water stream down there, and they should end up in this hopper. And then you can cover up the roof. So now what you guys are going to want to do is come to this outermost pillar right here, and then replace the top block, which used to be a glass block, with a solid block. And then you guys are going to want to place 2 glass blocks like this. So now what you guys are going to want to do is place in 6 hoppers right here, or as many hoppers as you'd like, because you can add more and have more items smelt at the same time. And then you're going to want to run them into a furnace array on the other side, making sure that the little nodes are going into the back of our furnace. And then you're going to want to place in 2 more glass blocks, and then place in another solid block on the end like this with a lever flicked down on it. And then on our original 2 blocks right here, you're going to want to place in 1 more solid block diagonal to it, and then you're going to want to place in another lever and then turn it on. And the reason for these levers is you're going to want to place in in 2 powered rails on each glass block like this, and then place in rails on top of each hopper. And then now you're going to want to place in 6 more, or however many furnaces you have, of hoppers going into the top of our furnaces, and then place in 1 glass block on either side, and then 1 block diagonal to our glass block. You're going to want to place another solid block with a lever turned down on it, and on this one as well, like so. And then you're going to want to place a powered rail on each glass block, and then place in normal rails on top of each hopper. And for the collection mechanism, you're going to want to place in your hoppers under our furnace, all of them leading into a chest right here, so that we can get in all the things that we smelted. And to load our items that we want to smelt, you're basically going to want to place in a hopper on top of our rail. You can do that by just clicking in a hopper like so, and then on top of that hopper you're going to want to place in a double chest. And now all you're going to want to do is place in your 2 hopper minecarts, and they can just go on top like this. And I'll show you guys how you guys can use this super smelter at the end of the video. And now to make the tree farm, what you guys are going to want to do is come down here to the 3 leftover composters, and then you're going to want to place in a hopper at the center facing outward like this, with the other 2 going into our center one. And then you're going to want to place another one right here, and then 4 of them, all leading them into this final hopper. And then now what you guys are going to want to do is at the end of the hopper chain, you're going to want to place in a dispenser, and then go down by 1 and then place a grass block right here. And then on the other side you're going to want to place in a column of pistons, and this should be 5 blocks high like this. And then you're going to want to make in a super fast clock with 2 observers going into each other on the other side of our dispenser right here. Skip a block, place in a sticky piston, and then on the sticky piston you can place a lever and use it as an on-off switch like this. And then now you guys are going to want to skip a block next to our dispenser, and then place in a wall of pistons, which is 5 blocks high and can be up to 11 blocks long, but I made it 9 blocks long right here just so that it all fits in one chunk. So now what you guys are going to want to do is basically place in a block right here, go down by 1 and then go to the left, and then place a block right here. And then on side facing our wall of pistons, you're going to want to place in a redstone torch like this, and then on top of that block you're going to want to place a redstone repeater running into a block. And then you're going to want to run that line behind our pistons, and these blocks are in the same level as our bottommost piston, and just run them all the way across until this side. And now to test it out, if you guys place a block right here, these 2 pistons should extend and basically push out the entire thing here. And as you guys saw before, that only powered the bottom 2, and now to power these 2 as well, you're going to want to place in 2 glass blocks right here. Make sure that they are transparent blocks, 1 right here and 1 in the same level as our 3rd piston, and then run that line all the way across here. And now if you guys come in front and then place in a block, all 4 rows should extend. And now to power the uppermost layer, you're going to want to repeat the same thing here, but then making sure to place a solid block right here so that this block does not connect to our top piston row. And now you can come down here and test it out for the final time to see that all of our pistons should extend. And if you guys make it longer than 9 blocks long, you should see that somewhere in this corner of pistons will not power. To fix that, all you have to do is extend our glass blocks out by 1 more block like this, place in another redstone dust here, and then place in a redstone repeater where we used to have a piece of redstone dust, and that should fix the issue. And then now what you guys are going to want to do is come on top of our column of pistons, go up by 3 blocks right here, and then place in an observer looking downwards like this. And then you're going to want to place in a solid block on every other piston right here, and then place in a temporary block right here, and then place in glass blocks like so, and then get rid of our temporary blocks. And then now you guys can run our line of redstone going all the way across here. And then you're going to do 1 more like so, and then place another block right there, and then connect it up to our observer. And now if you place a block on top of our observer, all of our pistons should extend. And guys, I'll show you guys how you guys can use this farm at the end of the video. So now to build the mob farm, what you guys are going to want to do is come down here to the back side of our piston wall, and then you're going to want to skip a block and then place in a solid block right here, and then go to our furnace array, skip a block, and then place a solid block right here, and then go out and connect all of them up with another row of solid blocks. And then as you guys can see, there's 5 pistons on either side leading into the central 2 like this, which are then going into a chest right here. So then when the mobs fall in here, all their loot will be collected by the hoppers from anywhere and be funneled into our chest. And then now you guys are going to want to place in an upper slab on top of our chest like this so that we can still open our chest. And then now you're going to want to make each of these walls 24 blocks high. Guys, now that you've bought up your wall by 25 blocks, this should be it. So I started off at 65, now I'm at wire level 90. You're going to want to go out by 8 blocks right here, including this block over here. So basically you're going to want to go out by 7 blocks, and and then go up 1 block and then go out by 7 blocks. So the first one should be 8 blocks in total, and this one will be 7 blocks. And then now you guys are going to want to raise this wall by 2 blocks high like so, and then build a wall going all the way across, which is also 2 blocks high. And then you're going to want to place in a layer of slabs or leaves going all the way across the wall to prevent any mobs from spawning up here. And now what you guys are going to want to do is come down here to a corner, make an L shape like this, go up and then get rid of our temporary blocks like this, and then you're going to want to make this go all the way across like so until it's just 1 block away from the wall. And then now you're going to want to go ahead and then place in a trap door on either side of our spawning channel. And now that you're done with one of our spawning channels, you guys are going to want to basically skip 2 blocks and then repeat it like so. In one layer you should be able to fit 4 of them, and then to stack them vertically you're going to want to skip 2 blocks again and then start another channel like so, and you guys can make it as tall as you want. And now what you guys are going to want to do is grab your water and then place it all the way along the edge right here, and your water should flow perfectly and should not go down our hole like this. And guys, now you can actually add a roof to this to make this work at both daytime and nighttime. But if you don't want to spend the materials on making a roof out of slabs, you guys can just leave it like this. For those who want to build a roof, you're going to want to go 7 blocks diagonally like so on either direction, connect it up, and then fill it in. And guys, make sure for the roof you guys leave a 2 block gap right here on your uppermost spawning chambers so that our mobs can also spawn up here. So let's start off at the center with our kelp and bonemeal farm. And to use this, all you have to do is turn on this lever and you should see that there's a bunch of kelp. And if you guys want the kelp, you guys can just break these hoppers and redirect them into a chest so you guys can collect it, and that's totally up to you guys. And that's how you use the kelp part of the farm. And now I'll show you guys how you guys can use the XP farm. So for the first time that you're going to use this farm, you're actually going to want to load up each one of these chests with some fuel. And once you've done that, there should automatically be some kelp smelting. And then you're going to want to let some of the kelp actually cook down. And guys, as more of the kelp that you let melt, the more XP you'll have at the end. So basically, once you're happy with however much you've smelted down, you guys can just come down here and flick these levers and then just pick up 1 piece of kelp. And once you guys do that, you should see that you'll get XP. But since I'm in creative, I didn't get any, but if you guys were in survival, you'd get all of it. And guys, if you guys let a whole bunch smelt, just know that you're not going to get all the XP by just taking out 1 piece of kelp. You'll have to take out multiple pieces of kelp to get all the XP stored in our smokers. And guys, once you've gotten the farm started, you should end up with a bunch of dried kelp, and you might be wondering what you can do with this dried kelp, and that's what these crafting tables are for. You guys can just open this up, take your dried kelp and turn them into block like so, and you guys can actually put them back into our smokers as they are used as fuel source. So once you've gotten this farm started, you don't need to fuel it again. And now I'll show you guys how you guys can operate our sugarcane and bamboo farm. So this lever over here will basically activate our braking system, and to start using the bone meal, all you have to do is flick this one as well. So once you turn on both of them, you should see that you'll be getting a whole bunch of sugarcane and bamboo. And if you guys open the chest to see how much you have, you'll see that you already start getting a lot of them. And then to use our automatic smelting system over here, all you have to do is turn on this lever, which will then push the hopper and then start dispensing out the bamboo. And you can actually keep the bamboo if you want, but if you don't want them, you can just send them to our smelting system. So our bamboo will travel up here and then be collected into the hopper, and then from the hopper they'll be sent into the minecart, and from the minecart they'll be sent to our furnace array. So you guys can just leave the system turned on, so whenever you get any bamboo, they'll all be transferred into our furnaces, so they'll be fully loaded for the time you want to smelt some item. And to smelt some items, all you have to do is place in the items into our big chest over here, and they'll automatically be sent into here, and then they'll start smelting. And once the items have finished smelting, they'll all end up in our chest right here. And guys, to use our mob farm, all you have to do is just stay down here in our platform at any spot. And just as I was showing you guys how all this works, we already got a whole bunch of things. We got gunpowder, some bones, and some arrows already. So this is a really good thing to have. And guys, for the final thing, I'll show you guys how you guys can use the tree farm. To use this tree farm, all you're going to want to do is make sure that there's already some bone meal in here, and they should automatically be coming in from our system over here. And then you can turn on our piston, so you should see some particles coming out our dispenser. Don't be worried, they're actually not being used yet. Now all you have to do is hold down your oak saplings, and once one of them grows, they should automatically be pushed out. And now all you have to do is place in another one, and as you guys can see, they will be pushed out. So yeah, you guys can just AFK down here, and when you're AFKing here, all the other farms can also be running at the same time, so you guys can get a whole bunch of kelp, bone meal, XP, sugarcane, bamboo, mob loots, and wood. So you guys, thank you guys so much for watching. That was every single farm in one that you guys can ever need in the beginning of a game. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys enjoy straightforward content for both Minecraft Bedrock and Java Edition, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, as it does help our channel. It also really does mean a lot to me. So you guys, thank you guys so much for watching. See you guys next one. Peace.